Hi Salem, welcome to your weekend weather report given to you by 9th grade science teacher Toby Fusco here at the high school. I'm a real life meteorologist. I don't just play one on TV, and so what you're going to get out of this forecast is sort of a glimpse of the forecast that you're going to have for tomorrow, plus the bigger, more massive storm that's coming in over the weekend. And so this is sort of a trial run. We're going to kind of see how it goes. It's been a long time since I've been on TV in front of an audience, and so we'll see how it goes from here. So getting into the actual forecast itself, we have two storms coming over the next couple of days. The one for tonight into tomorrow is a minimal storm, not much fanfare with it. It should be relatively light. There have been some chatter about possible freezing rain and whatnot, but at least right now it looks mostly like snow. It should only be about an inch or so, and most of the snow should be falling once classes start tomorrow, so there should not be any issues in terms of getting to school, and the storm is a pretty fast mover, so it should actually be out of this area by the time school ends. Behind the storm itself, you're going to have a substantial amount of cold air coming in, and that cold air is going to set the stage for Winter Storm Harper, which is coming through Saturday night into Sunday. Compared to tomorrow's storm, this looks like a much larger system. We're looking at, in the case of some of the more recent models, well over a foot of snow is forecasted for this portion of the state, extending into Massachusetts and up coastal Maine as well. There is some uncertainty with the models at this point in terms of whether it will be exclusively a snowstorm or if there could be some icing. I do include icing in this forecast because many of the models do include it, and so we'll talk about when that's going to actually occur, what the impacts are, and also how Sunday is going to shape up for us. So if we take a look at the actual maps themselves, we have the storm for tonight coming in. And you can see as it advances towards us, blue represents snow, green represents rain. There's not all that much in the way of deep, dark blue color, which is what you would expect to see for the storm itself. And so after it clears through, this is at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, and you can see that there's nothing over the southern New Hampshire area. So this is going to be a quick moving storm, and again, not have much in the way of precipitation for us. Maybe an inch. Might grease up the roads a little bit, but there should not be any travel headaches from this. People should still be able to get out and about, and especially get to the grocery store before the next storm comes and get the all-important milk, bread, eggs, all those things that we need. So the actual totals for tomorrow look something like this. General 1 to 2 inches of snow across the state of New Hampshire. There will be some intensification as it slides off the coast. Maine looks to get a little bit more out of this, but 3 inches versus 2 inches is not all that much of a substantial increase. And so, again, after this storm leaves us, Saturday does not look all that bad. But again, in advance of the next storm, we have a deepening low pressure center, as you can see, coming across the state of Texas. And as it hits the southern plains, it's going to pick up a tremendous amount of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see the shield of precipitation increasing dramatically. And on these later slides here, you can see the advancement of the storm toward the north and the east. This particular model here only forecasts precipitation out 48 hours, and so it's not indicating where the snow and rain is going to be, but what meteorologists use here is the placement of the low itself. So here is the actual radar, future radar of this storm. You can see the area of low pressure being indicated there, coming out of the southern plain states, and you can see more or less heading toward the northeast. And so what we're looking at here is sort of the consensus, and in meteorology we call that the average track. And so this is what most of the computer models are indicating right now. You can see a wide swath of green indicating precipitation in the form of rain. The heavier yellows and oranges and reds represent really significant heavy precipitation. You can also see the blue popping up there. So this is from 8 p.m. on Saturday evening, and it extends through midnight on Monday. And you can see as the storm comes through, towards the middle portion, the pink, purple, and the red that is indicative of heavy precipitation in the form of freezing rain and sleet over the southeastern New Hampshire area. And so in terms of the totals that we're looking at here, generally about a foot or so of snow at the onset of the storm itself. Some freezing rain is going to move in. It's looking like midday on Sunday here in the Salem area. And so prior to that, with the heavy snowfall amounts, we could see 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour, which is not out of the question with a storm of this size. Anybody that's up super late in the evening may actually hear some thunder snow, which with this type of convective system is not uncommon. And so what the freezing rain and sleet is going to do on Sunday is it's going to actually limit some of the accumulation. Hence why in this forecast here, I'm calling for a little bit less than what some of the other weather organizations are. But the icing right now looks to be very hazardous and actually quite significant in terms of the accumulation. 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice is enough to pull down tree branches, power lines. There could be, depending on how much accumulation of ice there is, some scattered power outages down in this part of the state. So hopefully that does not occur, because with this storm also comes a substantial amount of cold air. And so having no heat plus no electricity, cold air is not a good thing to be dealing with this time of year. And so after the storm pulls away on Sunday evening, Monday is going to be a brutally cold day here in New Hampshire. Canadian high pressure is going to come out of central Canada, and you're going to have a pretty sunny day on Monday. So those of you that liked the snow and want to get out, maybe get to the ski slopes or go out snowmobiling, you should be able to do so. But you're going to have high temperatures right around 10 degrees on Monday with wind chills well below zero. And a very biting wind out of the northwest. So it's not a day you want to spend outside for too long enjoying the snow. So here is a map from the Weather Channel showing you their projected totals Friday into Sunday. So this does include the little clipper system that's coming through tomorrow. You can see New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts, well within that pink range there, indicating 18 to 24 inches of snow. This more than likely does not include any of the freezing rain or sleet potential that we're going to have, which could actually limit the totals that we see here in southern New Hampshire. So moving on to the next map here, next bit of information. So sort of an outline of what we're going to or could potentially experience with Winter Storm Harper. Generally 10 to 12 inches across southern New Hampshire. A little bit more as you get up into the foothills of New Hampshire. The mountains are going to get a lot out of this, which is great for the ski resorts, which have not had a whole lot in the way of natural snow this winter. Lots of hype with this particular storm. This is the first real big one for us, especially in southern New Hampshire. So those of you that have been waiting for winter, praying for winter, well, somebody heard you, because this storm is coming, and it's coming with some fierceness with it. Again, the sleet and freezing rain is more than likely going to reduce snowfall amounts closer to the coast. There could be a complete changeover to rain along the coastal plain itself. So from Portsmouth down to Seabrook, Salem is more than likely not going to get into this switch over or change over to rain completely, but the freezing rain and the sleet definitely is a potential hazard here. Again, 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice possible, power outages, hopefully not, but the concern is there. And during the storm itself, the winds are not going to be all that intense. There will from time to time be a northeast wind that will kick up, maybe gust 20 to 25 miles per hour. But the major concern with wind is going to be after the storm comes through, dragging in that cold air from Canada. So that's sort of your wrap up of the storm itself. Again, the models could predict and could have it actually be a little bit more in the way of snow. It's not looking like much in the way of warm air is going to change much of it to rain, however. Now, the all-important AFC Championship game out in Kansas City on Sunday night, we will be dealing with the aftermath of Harper. But as you can see from this map here, Most of the Great Plains will be precipitation free. You're going to have extremely strong winds out of the north-northwest. And so you're going to have a sustained wind anywhere from like 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting 25 miles per hour or greater. Game time temperature, 20 degrees, dropping to the lower teens by the end of the game. No sweat for the Pats, do well in this type of weather. We'll see how Kansas City fares with this type of weather. Again, goats do well with cold air. I actually researched that before the forecast itself. And so looking at our webcam here out over Salem itself, you can see relatively clear conditions. And this is the most recent map that came in from the National Weather Service. It was sent out early this morning. And so it sort of mirrors what the National Weather Service had, or sorry, the Weather Channel had for their predictions. You can see the highest amounts of snow here in New Hampshire in the southwestern part of the state. So Cheshire County, out in the Monadnock region, upwards of 2 feet. And then anywhere from a foot to a half a foot in the orange shaded region that you see there, which extends and covers most of the state. Again, there could be some mixing along the coast that may drop the amounts that you see there in Portsmouth, maybe to a foot or a little bit less than a foot, but that's yet to be seen. Okay? The forecast will get more and more accurate as it gets closer to the actual storm itself. So hopefully you enjoyed this trial run. If you know, we'll try and do this more as the winter progresses, being the first time that this storm, first winter storm that we've had so far. I'm certainly trying to work out the kinks of remembering how to do this when I did it over a decade ago. So hopefully you spend the weekend inside, you know, able to watch the Pats, and stay tuned for the next episode at some point in the future. Thanks for watching.